Yes, got him! That was close. Is he teabagging me? I just killed him. Why is he teabagging?
Dude, he's teabagging his own corpse because you killed him. That's advanced BM.
That doesn't even make sense. All right, round 2. I'm killing him again and not teabagging because I'm not toxic. No, he got me!
Oh man, he's going hard with the teabag. Like, Olympic level crouching right now.
This is so disrespectful. I'm gonna kill him again and teabag him so hard.
Here we go. The teabag arms race has begun.
Got him! Okay, here we go. Spit! Spit! Dance! How do you like it?
You've become what you swore to destroy.
I don't care! He started it!
This has stopped being about winning the match. This is just a teabagging rivalry now.
He laugh emoted me. Twice. This is personal now. We lost the match because I was too focused on teabagging that one guy.
Yeah, but you out-teabagged him 7-5. So who really won?
I need to rethink my priorities.
Welcome back to MMO Madness Behind the Troll Mask. I'm Boss Mode, and today we're talking about teabag, emote spam, and all the nonverbal ways gamers show disrespect. It's not griefing, it's not really harassment, but it's definitely toxic. Let's explore the language of gaming disrespect. Before we can talk about what teabagging means now, we need to understand where it came from and how it evolved across gaming culture. Teabagging in gaming has its origin in the late 1990s and the early 2000s, but it really exploded with Halo 2 in 2004. The crouch button was easily accessible. Corpses stayed on the ground for several seconds, and the motion of crouching repeatedly over a dead player looked like, well, you know what it looked like. The term teabagging comes from a sexual act, which tells you immediately that this was designed as humiliation. You've killed someone and now you're symbolically dominating them in the most disrespectful way possible. It's not enough to win, you need to disrespect the loss. Halo popularized this because the game had perfect conditions. Fast-paced combat with frequent kills, corpses that stayed visible, easy crouch mechanics, highly competitive culture, and no real penalty for doing it. Within months, teabagging became standard Halo culture. You teabagged after every kill. If you didn't teabag, you were being respectful, which was actually noteworthy. The baseline expectation was disrespect. From Halo, teabagging spread to every shooter and PvP game. Call of Duty, Gears of War, Destiny, Overwatch, Fortnite, any game with a crouch button and corpses became teabagging compatible. But the meaning evolved across different games and communities. In some games, it remained pure disrespect. You teabag to say, I'm better than you and I want you to know it. In other games, it became trash talk, competitive banter that's understood as part of the game. It's not personal, just heated competition. In some communities, it became comedy. Teabagging your own teammate who died stupidly. Teabagging in situations where it makes no tactical sense. It's absurdist humor, that's all it is. And in some contexts, it actually became friendly. Teabagging as a greeting. Teabagging to say, that was a good fight. The crouch spam transcended its disrespectful origins to become generic communication. Different games tried different approaches to handle it. Some games removed corpses quickly so teabagging had no target. This worked mechanically, but it felt censorship to players. Some games made crouching slower or added cooldowns. This made teabagging less effective, but it also hurt legitimate tactical crouching. Some games added teabag-specific emotes that were even more disrespectful. If you can't stop it, monetize it. Fortnite's Take the L dance is basically professional-grade teabagging. And some games just accepted it as part of culture. Halo still has teabagging. It's tradition at its point. Emote spam evolved alongside teabagging. If you can communicate disrespect through crouching, why not through emotes? The laugh emote became the verbal equivalent of teabagging. Laugh at someone's death, laugh at their mistakes, spam laugh during fights to tilt them. And the spit emote in WoW became notorious. Spitting on someone's corpse or character was considered the ultimate disrespect. When Blizzard removed cross-faction spit emote during the controversy, players rioted. They wanted their disrespect tool back. Dances, especially taunting dances, became another layer. Kill someone, dance on their corpse. It's visual, it's mocking, and it extends the humiliation beyond the kill itself. And games started adding emotes that you could purchase specifically designed for BM. Developers realized players would pay money for creative ways to disrespect opponents. So, why do people teabag? What's the psychology behind spending precious seconds after a kill to crouch repeatedly on a corpse? Let's break down the motivations. Motivation 1, dominance display. This is the original purpose. You've beaten someone and teabagging is rubbing it in. It's saying, I owned you in the most visceral way possible. It's primal dominance, behavior translated into pixels. The psychology here is about power. You've proven superiority through gameplay, and now you're making that victory the symbolic domination. It feels good to win. It feels even better to make sure they know you won. Motivation 2 is revenge. Someone teabagged you earlier and now you've killed them. You're teabagging them back to even the score. This is the teabag arms race we heard in the cold open. The psychology is about justice and reciprocity. You disrespected me, so I'm disrespecting you back. It's an eye for an eye, tribal thinking applied to the video game. Motivation 3 is tilting the opponent, strategic teabagging. You want to make your opponent angry because angry players make mistakes. If you can get into their head, you gain a competitive advantage. This is psychological warfare. You're using disrespect as a tactical tool, and it works. Plenty of players tilt hard after being teabagged and start making bad decisions. Motivation number 4 is comedy and absurdity. Sometimes teabagging is just funny. The absurdity of stopping mid-combat to crouch on a body. Teabagging in ridiculous situations. Teabagging your own teammate who fell off the map. The psychology here is about humor and breaking tension. Competitive games are intense. Sometimes you need that moment of absurdity to laugh. Motivation number 5, cultural expectation. In some games and communities, teabagging is just what you do. It's not personal. It's not even really disrespectful anymore. It's just the culture. Everyone does it, so you do it too. This is social conformity. You're participating in community norms. Not teabagging would be weird. Motivation number 6 is attention seeking. If you're stream sniping or playing against someone notable, teabagging gets you noticed. You might get called out on stream. You might end up in a clip. You might get attention. The psychology is about visibility. Being teabagged by some random player means nothing. Being teabagged by someone who then gets famous for it, well, that's different. What's interesting is how context changes the meaning. The same teabagging motion can mean completely different things. Teabagging after a close 1v1 fight you barely won. Competitive respect. Good fight. I got lucky. Teabagging after spawn killing someone. Pure disrespect and griefing. Teabagging after a cheap kill or a lucky shot is ironic humor. I know that was BS. Teabagging someone who just teabagged your teammate. Revenge and protection. Teabagging between friends, social bonding, and joking around. The motion is the same. The intent and context determine whether it's toxic or not. Emote spam has similar psychological drivers, but adds another layer, expressiveness. You can communicate more specific messages. The laugh spam, you're a joke, that was easy. The spit one, I have contempt for you specifically. Dance emotes, I'm so confident I can waste time dancing. Clap emotes, sarcastic applause for a bad play. Sleep emotes, you're boring, too easy. Each emote conveys a slightly different flavor of disrespect. Players develop vocabularies of nonverbal BM. Let's get into some legendary moments where teabagging or emote spam became memorable, controversial, or just hilarious. This is from competitive Halo. During a major tournament match with thousands watching live, a pro player won a crucial round and spent several seconds teabagging his opponent before moving to the objective. The crowd went wild. His opponent was tilted for the rest of the match. His team won, but the controversy was intense. Half the community said it was unprofessional and disrespectful in a professional setting. It's not random matchmaking. This is esports with money and sponsors. The other half said it's part of Halo culture and the opponent should have focused instead of getting tilted. Mind games are a part of competition. The player got a warning from tournament organizers, but no real penalty. The teabag became legendary. It's still referenced years later as one of the boldest BM moves in competitive Halo. This raised questions. Should professional esports have different standards than casual play? Is teabagging a part of the game or unsportsmanlike conduct? World of Warcraft had a controversy around the spit emote. Players were using spit on other players who used store mounts. Mounts purchased with real money instead of earned in-game. This became a whole movement. You bought that mount instead of earning it, so we spit on you. It was social shaming through emotes. Blizzard's response was controversial. They removed the ability to use spit on other players in some context. You could still use it, but the target wouldn't see it. The community exploded. Half applauded Blizzard for removing a harassment tool. Half accused Blizzard of censorship and protecting whales who spend money. The debate revealed deep divisions about free expression versus harassment in games. Whether emotes are just emotes or actual communication. If developers should police social behavior or let communities self-regulate. And whether store mount buyers deserve social consequences. The Spit Wars became a symbol of larger debates about gaming culture and developer control. This is from Destiny 2. A raid team was attempting a difficult encounter. One player kept making the same mistake and causing wipes. After the fifth wipe caused by this player, his teammate killed themselves with a grenade. Then another teammate teabagged the corpse while everyone was waiting to respawn. But here's the thing, they were teabagging the wrong person. They teabagged an innocent teammate thinking it was the person causing the wipes. The wrongly teabagged person left the raid immediately. The team couldn't complete the encounter without a full team, and the raid fell apart. All because of a mistaken identity teabag. The original mistake maker wasn't even affected. The team punished the wrong person and destroyed their own raid. This shows how teabagging, even when intended as joking call out among friends, can backfire spectacularly when context is misread. In Overwatch, a player discovered that spamming hello in voice lines while crouching repeatedly looked and sounded absolutely ridiculous. The character would be crouching frantically while yelling, hello, hello, hello. This spread through the community as an alternative to teabagging. Instead of disrespect, it was absurdist comedy. Players would do this after kills, before fights, during tense moments. It became such a meme that Blizzard leaned into it. They added skins and emotes that made it even funnier. The community had turned a potential toxicity tool into a joke. This shows how communities can reclaim or transform disrespectful behavior into something positive or at least neutral. In the fighting game community, there's an etiquette around winning. You can taunt during the match, but after you win, you don't rub it in. You respect the run back. One tournament player violated this. After winning, they did every taunt their character had, teabagged, and then refused to rematch, saying their opponent was way too easy. The FGC blacklisted them, not officially, but socially. TO stopped inviting them. Players refused to practice with them. They became persona non grata. The FGC had a strong culture of respect despite the trash talk. Crossing that line after a victory was unacceptable. The community enforced consequences without needing developer intervention. This shows how different communities draw different lines around disrespect and enforce their own standards. Fortnite added purchasable dance emotes that were specifically designed for taunting. Take the L for the loser, floss dancing, various cocky celebrations. This became the new teabagging. Kill somebody, immediately start dancing. The dances were so prevalent that winning in Fortnite became synonymous with being danced on. But because the dances were monetized, Epic Games had financial incentive not to discourage them. Players were paying $10 for the privilege of better BM tools. This created a weird dynamic where the developer was profiting from toxic behavior. The dances were controversial, but they made millions. Eventually, Fortnite culture just accepted it. Everyone dances. Everyone gets danced on. It's part of the game now. The disrespect became normalized. This one's wholesome. In a competitive shooter, a player accidentally killed their teammate with splash damage. Immediately, they ran to the corpse and started crouching. But this wasn't disrespectful teabagging. This was apologetic teabagging. The motion was the same, but the context transformed it into, I'm sorry, that was my fault. The teammate respawned and teabagged back, which in context meant, it's okay, accidents happen. They had a whole conversation through teabagging, apology, forgiveness, and then moving on. No words exchanged, just crouching. This shows how teabagging has evolved beyond disrespect into a general communication tool in games without robust quick chat systems. So when does teabagging or emote spam cross from acceptable trash talk into actual harassment? Where's the line? This is complicated because context matters so much. Let me give you some frameworks. Framework 1, frequency and persistence. Teabagging once after a kill, trash talk. Following someone around and spawn teabagging them repeatedly equals harassment. The line between momentary BM and sustained targeting. Framework number 2, context of engagement. Teabagging in competitive PvP where both parties are engaged equals expected teabagging. But someone who's AFK or clearly new equals bullying. The line is between competitive equals and punching down. Framework 3 is proportionality. Teabagging after a close fight is excessive but understandable. Teabagging after spawn killing someone is needless and cruel. The line between earned victories and cheap wins. Framework 4 is intent. Teabagging as competition and mind games is a part of the game. Teabagging to make someone feel bad or quit is toxicity. The line between competitive spirit and malicious intent. Framework 5 is relationship. Teabagging friends as a joke is bonding. Teabagging strangers excessively is potential harassment. The line between in-game humor and outside targeting. Here are some specific scenarios and where they fall. On our acceptable list, well, most would agree, teabagging in competitive modes where it's culturally expected. Teabagging someone who teabagged you first. Teabagging in obviously humorous context. Emoting after legitimate victories. Brief BM before moving on with gameplay. The gray areas are teabagging every single kill regardless of context. Using purchased emotes specifically designed for BM. Teabagging in professional esports. Extended emote spam that delays gameplay and targeting specific players repeatedly. And most would agree this is the unacceptable list, following someone around just to teabag them. Teabagging combined with slurs or hate speech in chat. Deliberately teabagging new players to drive them away. Using emotes to harass someone out of space. Continuing after someone asks you to stop. The problem is different communities draw these lines differently. In the Halo community, teabagging is fundamental culture. If you don't like it, play something else. Rainbow Six Siege community, teabagging is toxic and frowned upon. Respect your opponents. The Call of Duty community, teabagging is expected, but excessive spawn camping and teabagging is too far. Fighting game community, taunts during match are fine, but post-match BM is disrespectful. There's no universal standard. What's toxic in one game is normal in another game. Here's my take. The line is crossed when the target has clearly disengaged or asked you to stop. The behavior prevents someone from playing the game, or the behavior is targeted harassment rather than general BM. And the behavior combines with other harassment, slurs, threats, stalking. Here's the last one. The behavior is punching down at obviously weaker, newer players. Within competitive contexts where both parties are engaged and it's culturally accepted, teabagging and emote spam are trash talk. Outside those contexts, they can be harassment. The key word is context. The same action in different situations means different things. How have developers tried to handle teabagging and emote spam? And how do players adapt to these changes? Developers face a dilemma. Teabagging and emote spam are cultural phenomena that players care about, but they can also be toxic and drive players away. Response 1 is to remove the mechanics, make corpses disappear instantly, remove crouch, or limit emote usage. The result is player revolt. You've removed legitimate gameplay mechanics to prevent BM. Crouching has technical uses. Emotes are social features. The adaptation? Players find new ways to BM. Jump spam, shooting corpses, proximity voice chat toxicity. You can't remove disrespect, just change its form. Response number 2, time penalties. Make crouching slow, add cooldowns to emotes. Limit how often you can use them. The result? Reduces spam but feels restrictive. Legitimate uses are impacted. Here's the adaptation. Players work within the restrictions, can only teabag twice. Well, make those 2 crouches count. You're limiting emotes? Save them for maximum impact. Response 3. Report and punishment. Allow players to report teabagging and emote spam as harassment. Ban repeat offenders. The result is report systems get abused. Good players get falsely reported. Enforcement is inconsistent. In the adaptation, players teabag on all accounts. They accept occasional suspensions as a cost of doing business. Response 4. Positive reinforcement. Add good sport system. Honor points for not being toxic. Reward for positive behavior. The result? Some reduction in toxicity, but the toxic players don't care about rewards. The adaptation, toxic players ignore it. Good players collect points, but behavior doesn't fundamentally change. Response 5. Embrace and monetize. Add purchasable emotes designed for BM. Make teabagging culture part of the game's identity. The result is mixed. Some players love it, others feel the developer is encouraging toxicity for profit. And adapting, the BM becomes more creative and elaborate. Players pay for premium disrespect tools. Response number 6, community self-regulation. Let communities decide what's acceptable. Provide tools, but don't police behavior. The result is different servers, communities develop different standards. Some are friendly, some are toxic. In adapting, players self-sort into communities that match their tolerance for BM. The most successful approach seems to be nuanced. Allow the mechanics, the crouch emotes, because they have legitimate uses. Provide reporting tools for sustained harassment. Take action on clear pattern harassment, not single instances. Let community culture set standards within broad guidelines. And don't try to eliminate trash talk, just contain it within competitive context. But even if this doesn't work perfectly, teabagging and emote spam exist in a gray area between competitive trash talk and toxic harassment. Context determines which it is, and context is hard to automatically detect. Players have also adapted by developing counter strategies. Psychological immunity, deciding not to let teabagging bother them. It's just crouching. Why am I mad? Reverse trolling, teabagging yourself after you die, taking the power away from the opponent. Strategic ignoring, not giving the teabagger the satisfaction of a reaction or revenge attempt. Community shaming, calling out excessive teabaggers in community forums, social consequences. Escalation, the teabag arms race. Everyone teabags everyone until it loses meaning. The community's response matters as much as the developer's response. What does the existence and persistence of teabagging and emote spam tell us about gaming culture? First, it shows that the competition breeds disrespect. When winning matters, people want to rub it in. This isn't unique to gaming. Athletes trash talk, fighters taunt, sports fans mock rivals. Gaming just gave us new tools for it. Second, it reveals the importance of nonverbal communication in games. When you can't talk to opponents, different platforms, no voice chat, language barriers, you communicate through actions. Teabagging and emotes became a language because we needed one. Third, it demonstrates the creativity of toxicity. No matter what systems developers create, players will find ways to express disrespect. You can't engineer toxicity out of competitive spaces. You can only manage and contain it. Fourth, it shows cultural evolution in action. Teabagging started as pure disrespect and then evolved into something more complex. Trash talk, comedy, communication, even bonding. The meaning changed as the culture matured. Fifth, it reveals the tension between competitive culture and inclusive culture. Hardcore competitors accept trash talk and BM as a part of the competition. Casual players see it as unnecessary toxicity. Both are valid perspectives, and games struggle to serve both audiences. And sixth, it demonstrates the intent and context matter more than actions. The same teabagging motion means completely different things in different situations. We judge behavior not by what it is, but why and when it happens. The persistence of teabagging and emote spam, despite years of attempts to discourage it, shows that this is serving a psychological need in competitive gaming. Players want a way to express dominance, celebrate victories, and engage in psychological warfare. The question isn't whether teabagging should exist, it's going to exist in some form regardless. The question is how to channel it toward competitive trash talk rather than toxic harassment. And that's a cultural question more than a mechanical one. The healthiest gaming communities are ones that draw clear lines between acceptable BM and unacceptable harassment, then enforce those lines through social pressure and community standards. Teabagging and emote spam are the language of gaming disrespect. They're crude, they're juvenile, and they'll probably never go away. If you're going to teabag, keep it in a competitive context. Don't target beginners or people who've disengaged, and accept that you'll get teabagged back. Trash talk is a two-way street. If you're getting teabagged, remember it's pixels crouching on pixels. Don't let it tilt you. That's what they want. Kill them next time and move on. The fact that crouching repeatedly has become a loaded action says something about gaming culture. We've created elaborate social meaning around a simplest mechanic. That's both ridiculous and kind of impressive. Next week on MMO Madness Behind the Troll Mask, we're diving into the fake emergency, trolling through false alarms. You definitely don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and support the podcast. And if you've got a teabagging story, whether it was giving or receiving, email us at podcast@mmomadness.com. Until then, compete hard, trash talk within limits, and remember, it's just crouching. I'm Boss Mode, and thanks for listening.